Welcome back to Redneck Garage, and today we're going to talk about oils. Now specifically this is for my equipment, but this can go for a lot of other equipment. But the main reason for the video is I wanted to talk to you about why I picked AMSOIL. And I called AMSOIL, told them what I was doing, and they offered to send me out some stickers and stuff. So I'm still waiting on those. But the oil came yesterday. So today we're going to talk about it. Why pick AMSOIL? They didn't sponsor me. I paid full price for this. This whole lot, except for the filters were, I don't know, a couple bucks a piece. Everything here cost $150, except for the filters, of course. I bought 8 quarts of 10W40 motor oil and 6 quarts of Severe Gear 100% synthetic gear lube 80W90. The absolute main reason I picked AMSOIL to go in my machines for their first service, and I won't be going back to anything else with those machines. The main reason is because I've been using AMSOIL my whole life. I grew up using AMSOIL oil, and it's really good oil. In the last video you should see before this one, if you keep watching till the end, you'll see pictures of me when I was a little boy. And I used to race, so my dad always used, he used a lot of Klotz oils too. He always used higher end oil, and I'll tell you what, he used to rebuild our bikes all the time. And you could really tell how much, or should I say, in a 2-stroke, when you use good oils, this really does not apply to that, because that would be 2-stroke mix. But anyway, with the Klotz oil, you could get more rebuilds on the same jug than you could using cheap oil. Pistons will score and all that stuff. AMSOIL is a very good trusted brand, first and foremost. And their oils have proven dependability time after time after time after time. And the protection that it gives your engine is the absolute best there is on the market. Argue with me. Go ahead. Now I know everybody likes specific oils, you know, Valvoline, Mobil 1. There's many other oils out there. Redline, etc., etc., etc. Lucas, whatever. I use Lucas. I'm not per se partial to Lucas. Lucas does have some good oils. I use Shell Rotella T6 in most of my engines out here in the garage. And it's a good oil too. But the reason I'm not going to use Shell Rotella T6 in my side-by-side is because my side-by-side has a wet clutch. These oils are specifically engineered and have different shear strengths. See, it's not just JASO rated oil, 10W40, 15W40, whatever. It doesn't end there, guys. You got to look at lubricity, and you got to look at shear strength, especially in the engines we got, because you have gears. Gears cause shear in oil. That will wear down an oil a lot faster. Shell Rotella, while everybody thinks it's mainly geared towards diesels, it kind of is, but you can use it in a lot of other stuff. I'm not saying it's a bad oil, because it's not, and I use it all the time, okay? But I like using it in an engine that does not have a wet clutch. I like using it in an engine that has a separate gearbox with its own gear oil. I like using it in a lawnmower engine, go-kart engine, etc., etc. It's a great oil for the money. Should you run it in your motorcycle? Me? I wouldn't. You can if you like. It's your bike, it's your money. It may not fail you. But I'm telling you that a specially engineered oil such as AMSOIL was designed for the heat. It was designed for the shear. It was designed for the wear. All of that, for the clutches and all of that, and the shifting. Yes, you can get smoother shifting when you use better oil. And you will notice it. Trust me. You guys only know about me what you see on my YouTube channel. You don't know my past life. You don't know what I did or used to do. There's more to it than what you see on YouTube. So do not judge a character by his book. I get a lot of crappy comments and messages from people. I don't give a shit. What I know is what I know, and I'm telling you for a reason. Okay? I didn't pick AMSOIL because they sponsored me. They didn't sponsor. I didn't pick AMSOIL because it says AMSOIL. I picked AMSOIL because that is what I want to run in my side-by-sides. Specifically because my side-by-side is a wet clutch. And to be God's honest truth with you, that's particularly the only reason I did it. That and the transmission gears is in the same case and uses the same oil as the engine. If it didn't have a wet clutch and it didn't have the gears in the same case and it had separate transaxle case with its own gear oil, I would have used Rotella T6. So now that we got that out of the way, whatever you're running and you want to run, that is totally fine. Just make sure you do the research and know what you're running. There's reasons why I don't run specific oils and specific things. It's because each oil is different and each oil is better than the next one at specific tasks. If you're into computers, it's kind of like AMD will whoop an Intel's ass in rendering video. Intel will rip a hole in AMD's ass when it comes to gaming. That is up until recently, but this isn't a computer channel, and we're not going to get into that. Now, if you're curious about the CF Motos and what you need to do on your first service, everybody keeps asking in the books, when's my first service due? When's my first service due? Listen, you got a user's manual. Read it. When somebody asks me a question, I tell them what the book says, not what I want to tell them. But here today, I'm going to tell you what I want to tell you. I believe your first service needs to be done at 50 hours. It does not need to go by miles. It needs to go by hours. Miles don't tell you how long the machine has ran. None of that. Okay? Dealer says 100 miles. You could pack 100 miles on your bike in way less than 20 hours, depending upon your riding style. Okay? My machine has 485 miles on it, and it has 54 hours. So I'm 4 hours past what I call to be a good time to change the break-in oil. Okay? So I recommend 50 hours to do your first service. Regardless of what that book says, regardless of what your dealer says. But by all means, if you don't like what I say, go by the book. The book also tells you 400 and something miles. I can't quote it verbatim, but it quotes 400 and something miles. Well, in those 400 miles, you could have 20 hours, you can have 200 hours. Depends upon on engine idle time. So in the dash there, you click the little button, it tells you your hours. Change it at 50 hours for break-in. After break-in, you can change it 80 hours. Wherever you feel like. Just don't go extravagant. Okay? Just always check it, make sure it's always full, make sure it looks clean. Oil does not go bad inside an engine as fast as everybody says it does. These shops just want your money, guys. They just want your money. That's all it is. Cost me $150 to do a total first service on both of my machines. 2 machines. That is changing both diff fluids, changing engine oils on both machines. Also within that first service, you should have already done this, but make sure you grease every Zerk fitting on the machine. And that goes for any machine. Okay? We are going to have a video after this one showing you how to do the service. But just in case you're curious, doesn't matter what CF Moto machine you have. A 500, an 800, a 1000. Now I'm talking Z-Force. And I'm sure the U-Force and the C-Forces are probably the same. They call for 3.6 quarts of oil for the engines across the board. The 1000 has a separate transmission. And it takes, I believe it's 7590 GL5, which is basically exact same as, yeah, GL5. Basically exactly the same as what your diff takes. Okay? Here's your filter number for the engine. And as far as I know, CF Moto uses the same filter across all engines. I could be wrong because I really only know the Z-Forces and the U-Forces. Filter number that I used, and I know I'm going to get a bunch of crap for it, is Fram. CH6104. Fram has a bad name. But that's for their automotive filters. That is for their cheap filters for automotive. The motorcycle filters and the side-by-side filters are actually built really well. All metal construction, except for the membrane, which is to be given. It has nice spring in there, so it doesn't allow fluid to drain. It's got a thick rubber oil stopper. Okay? Keeps it from draining back in. The filters that get the most crap are the ones that, see where this metal is? It was cardboard. And they were blowing out and causing people's engines to burn up. You don't have to worry about that with these ones. Plus, that was many years and moons ago. Shit's came a long way, guys. Lighten up. I'll take that Fram over a K&N any day of the week. So anyway, guys, I hope this video is informational for you and helps you pick what oil that you want to run. I did a lot of research, and yes, this is 10W40. CF Moto calls for 15W40, you said? Ah! But if you read your user manual and quit going by what everybody tells you on the interweb, CF Moto also says that you can use 10W40 in place of 15W40. It also says you can use 10W40 in the wintertime. And if you go to AMSOIL's website and put in your CF Moto brand, this is the oil that they tell you to use, and it will not void any warranties. That being said, just pretend this is another high-end branded oil. And it's 15W40. You got your 10W40. AMSOIL, your other brand. High-end brand. They could be the same. Not saying they are. But it all goes into flow characteristics and all the mumbo jumbo that I'm not going to get into in this video because it would be a long video. Do your research, guys. And you'll figure out what I'm saying. Okay? Every oil is different. They're all engineered differently. On the exception of the ones that are made in the same place and put in different bottles with different names. Walmart. So, and yeah, stay away from the Super Tech oil, will ya? Quit putting that garbage. If Walmart sells it, chances are you shouldn't be putting it in your shit. Somebody did tell me Walmart sells AMSOIL. Just be careful because AMSOIL makes different kinds. So make sure it's okay for your machine. But I think that about wraps it up, guys. I hope that it helps you. And I will put up charts in the video to show you about your machines. And like I said, this isn't just for CF Moto. You know, I would use AMSOIL and everything. And it's cheap. It's cheap. It's cheap. It's not that bad. Come on, guys. You're spending 17 bucks on some T6. These were 9 bucks. Yes, you can find them cheaper. I'm sure. I got them straight from the AMSOIL website. I'm sure you can find them cheaper. I'm sure you can find them on sale. I'm sure you can find a discount code. But still, 9 bucks a quart for good oil. worth it. I'm serious. That's like eating Dollar Tree food. You want to eat Dollar Tree food, or do you want to go to the steakhouse and get a good steak? You should treat your machine well. I see how a lot of you guys are treating your stuff. They aren't submarines. If you wanted to go boating, get a damn boat. How stupid. They weren't made to drive underwater. You bought it on Monday. I love my machine. It's been an awesome machine. It could be a Honda Talon. On Tuesday, you drive it through a lake. This thing's a pile of shit. I can't believe the diff got water in it. Oh my God, I sucked up a fish in the intake. They could have put a fish net on there. Oh my God. Jesus. They won't warranty it or anything. What a pile of shit. They sold me a lemon. No. You should have bought a fucking boat. Redneck Garage out. Peace.